when somebody that you really care about screws up big time, this shit, like, I don't know how deep it goes, and that's the scary part, because it may go pretty damn deep, and if it goes deep, that's life-altering for that person and everybody around. So this is how my current studio apartment is looking right now. I haven't really cleaned anything up. You can see my bags, and there I've been working this morning, and in about 2 hours I will get the key, so I get an apartment back, the apartment that was really good but bad with mold. So that was a, you know, that was a story in and out itself, and I think most of you guys actually saw it. So it's been a it's been a little bit of a ride in order to get this thing right. But now I will pack this apartment up, I will clean it up, and in about 2 hours I will enter the new apartment where they actually fixed up really good. I'm impressed, actually. I'm kind of impressed. At first I was mad at the manager because, well, I still believe that I kind of have a reason to be mad at the manager, but they cleaned it up real good, and they actually, as far as I could tell based on the pictures they sent me, they actually put out like a new wall, like the new layer on the wall. So I think they actually fixed it up really good. There is one other big thing that will be the topic for this video, and yesterday I got a call, and it was from somebody close to me, and shit has gone pretty bad. And oh fuck. Yeah, I'll tell you later. You? No, I'm good, thank you. I gotta say that having somebody else take care of your laundry is really fucking great. And you know, just not to have like your clothes all over the apartment to let them dry is so awesome, and not having to do the work. Just going with a bag to the laundry place and let them do it for you. It's really inexpensive, and you give them work to do. So I think that it's like an obvious deal. Even though I have the washer in my apartment, it's still totally worth it to let somebody else do it for you. This is the laundry place I've been going to. I do believe that she takes a little bit more than some other places, but I like the lady, so still continue to go here. People in the comment section are criticizing the way I bodybuild, which I find hilarious, because if you look at the results I've gotten the last year, I've improved more than anyone else that I can see. And then they give me advice that is like the basic ChatGPT advice, or maybe you search on YouTube how to build muscle, and they give like those really basic beginner advice, thinking that they're gonna revolutionize the way I train and bodybuild, you know, with that shit, you know, when what I'm doing is obviously working a lot better than what most people are doing. I find that hilarious. I mean, you would grow so much if you just do it my way. Well, haven't you seen the results I've gotten from doing it my way? Like, I don't know, it's hilarious. And the advice is really fucking beginner basic. It's like, you should do progressive overload, move heavy weights. What you are doing right now is cardio. Cardio. Well, I guess I'm so genetically blessed that I can build a shitload of muscle doing cardio. I guess that's the case, you know, if it makes you feel better. So this is how we're looking now. Apartment all cleaned up. All of my things I got here in the bags. Pretty much ready for action. So in 10 minutes I will get the key. I don't know how exact the manager will be when it comes to meeting me, giving me the key, but I'm ready now. So I'm gonna go and see if I can meet him up and get the key, and then I'm just gonna move all the stuff. So hopefully I will be able to have an hour of overlap between the apartments. I mean, that should be pretty obvious, but yeah, gonna move my stuff. I'm actually really happy that this all happened so fast, because like when I first, it was like, okay, I can stay in a different apartment for 1 month, no problem. But then, you know, I got the perspective, like typically a month isn't really that much time, it's not that bad. But then I look at how much actually happens in a month in my life, and a lot of things will happen in a month in my life. And that's the way it always goes, because, you know, I'm a bit of a yes man. I jump on opportunities, and now some people would say that is stupid, but I view it like every opportunity you take, you either gain from the opportunity or you fail and you learn and you improve. So in my opinion, you know, living the fast life is the best way to develop yourself. And when I realized how much life I would actually have to live in this 1 month period at the other apartment, I kind of got a little bit like, But now this only took I think this took like 4 days. It went by really fast. I make a video every day, so you can easily see how fast this thing happened. Like, they fixed the mold really, really fast, and based on the pictures, it looks like they fixed it really, really well as well. So I'm not really worried anything's gonna be bad. So just at this time, really happy about that part. Of course, it's really hard to feel like happiness right now for me because of the call I received yesterday. I will go into that later, but like when somebody that you really care about screws up big time, and it's nobody else's fault, that person's fault. It is that person that screwed up. But man, it still fucking sucks. Like I have no idea. Like this shit. Like I don't know how deep it goes, and that's the scary part, because it may go pretty damn deep, and if it goes deep, that's life altering for that person and everybody around him. I might as well say him because that's pretty obvious. All the way up. Let's see here. Oh, right there. This should be it. All right. Now please, let's check the wall out. Let's check the wall. This is a completely new wall they set up. Like this. That is new. Oh man, this is so much better. This is so much better than the other room. This is awesome. This feels really nice. I mean, man, this is a much better apartment. This is like by far a much better apartment. Look at this. The view, just gotta love it. Just gotta love it. The mirror, just gotta love the view when you put in the work, bro. Let's check this out. Yeah, here we go. Pretty nice. You know, like that there's a lot of space here because I got a lot of stuff, so like gotta fill this whole space up here with like the Trembo sauce. Yeah. I think the couch is pretty nice as well. Kitchen is good and has a lot of space. That thing is completely unnecessary, but I think it looks good. I mean, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I would prefer to have a dishwasher rather than a clothing washer. Man. I think I could get everything over in 2 runs, so, and it's really close, so like I think I will be able to carry everything. Well, I do believe that I should be able to carry everything in 1 run, but I do believe that's something stupid, unnecessary that only teenagers does. Oh, I'm sorry. That must have triggered a lot of bad feelings. Like, I bet people got triggered on that one, you know, because I believe that every fucking dude, every man in the entire world tries to see how many bags they can carry from the grocery store. Today is a rest day from the gym, so I'm on my way to get myself a coffee. And I'm thinking I want a big coffee, like one of those maybe not so healthy coffees, but that's what I'm going for today. So hopefully I will be able to find a place where it's not too noisy, because typically here in Da Nang it's really noisy pretty much everywhere. So I've been really trying to find a place where everything just is perfect to record a video, you know, regarding good lighting and a nice environment and not too noisy. But that shit, it is difficult, but I'll try my best today. The menu wasn't in English, so it was kind of difficult to, you know, make an order. So I got myself a regular milk coffee, and these are pretty nice, so it doesn't really hurt me that much, and I think it's good, you know. I was gonna go for the coconut coffee, which is like halfway to ice cream, so I think this is slightly better for my health. Let's try it. And it's still really good. So there is this person that I have in my life. He means a lot to me, and throughout the years, because I've known him for a long time, he has many times put himself in situations that are really bad, and it's frustrating to have someone that you care about so much making the wrong decisions when he knows it's the wrong decisions. So like let's bring it to a more normal example where I believe that everybody can relate. Everybody can relate that you shouldn't have the cookie, but you still have it for some reason. Everybody has been in a situation where you know you shouldn't have something, you shouldn't have the cookie, but you have the cookie. Now, if the cookie is a cookie, or if the cookie is a burger, or if the cookie is a cigarette, or if the cookie is alcohol, doesn't matter. I believe everyone can relate to knowing that sometimes you just can't resist the urge of having something or doing something that you know you shouldn't. But having someone you care about doing this and seeing him getting into trouble time and time again, and when somebody close to you or somebody you care about gets into trouble, it makes you want to help, right? Of course you want to help, and I believe that's the natural like instinct and wanting to help. Now I'm in the situation now where I can't help because I'm not available, right? I'm in Da Nang, I'm in Vietnam, right? I cannot help this person now who is back in Sweden. But I find it like, first and foremost, I feel like maybe I should be in Sweden helping, but then I think one step ahead, and I realize that now if somebody puts himself into a situation where it's entirely his own fault, right? And he knew he shouldn't have done it, but he did it anyways. At some point, the problem isn't really the problem that he got himself into. The problem is that that person needs to develop and stop being the person who gets himself into trouble. Like at some point, you just gotta have a wake-up call and know that you should not have the cookie. Now this is a little bit worse than having a cookie. This is actually quite a lot worse than having a cookie, and I don't know how deep this thing goes, and that is also something that plays with my anxiety, because like if the problem is deep, it's bad. Like it's really bad, and it affects him. It's gonna affect him a lot. It's gonna affect him regardless. Like this, it's bad regardless, but you know how bad it is, I don't know, and it may be really bad. Everybody feels like their own problems are bad, right? And it's emotionally the problem is gonna feel equally bad, regardless if it's a huge the problem is relative to your experience, right? So if you're not so experienced, like a kid can see something like a huge problem, but isn't really that big of a problem because it's a kid, right? And like to some extent, I can only tell you that for me and for the people involved in this, it is something big. Now I cannot say what, I cannot say, like obviously I will not make shit obvious because it's not about me, other than that I'm suffering because I'm suffering emotionally because I know things are bad, right? And you want to help this person solve the problem, but that is, in my opinion and my experience, the absolute worst thing you can do. Like, if somebody runs into a problem and you know you can solve that problem for them, you should not do that. You should not solve that problem for them, because that problem is a part of the other person's journey to self-development. Because the bigger problem in this situation isn't like, it is a big fucking problem that this person got himself into, but that's not the biggest problem. The bigger problem is that he still is the person who puts himself into those situations. And I don't believe you should try to save people from that. I believe that when someone puts himself into the shit, they need to learn the lesson for themselves. And another thing that you absolutely should not do is that you should not explain to that person, this is bad and you shouldn't have done that and you should have learned that and you should like, don't do that. That person needs to figure out for himself. And I get so annoyed when people are like, because half of the time, sure, we want to help the person, right? But half of the time, I see a lot of big egos that feel like they want to show how smart they are or how good they are themselves by pointing the fingers at the person who made a mistake, right? So, like, let's say that somebody failed or want to do something and they don't know how. Well, your mission is to figure out how to do it. If somebody else comes in and they just lays out the plan and does it for you, that doesn't help you fucking anything, because you didn't develop. It isn't about solving each individual little problem. It's about becoming the person who can solve the problem. And I believe that people help each other out too much, unfortunately. Like, I believe that sometimes the people with the knowledge help the people without the knowledge too much by just solving the problem, but the person who needed the problem solved didn't really evolve, it didn't really develop. Like, the typical example is like when you have a what do you call it? In school, when you have a mission, you're like a group, you got a group, let's say that you're a 4-person, right? 4-person group, and you're gonna solve a problem together. One person typically just disappears, right? Doesn't show up. And then one person doesn't really do anything, just hangs along. The other person complains about everything all the time, and one person does all the job. He does all the work. Now, in that situation, there's only one person developing, the person who does the job, right? And typically, for the person who does the job, it is easier to just do the fucking job than to teach the others how to do the job. So, like, I think that's very, like, typical for, like, the family situation where the woman just find it easier to do the job for the children than to teach the children how to do the job. It's hard to teach somebody something. It's much easier to just do it for them. Now, emotionally, I think, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Because it's like, I truly, that person means a lot to me, right? And I really feel like shit because of everything, because the situation is not good. But there's nothing I can do about it. And just sitting here, I'm thinking, how do I deliver, like, the tough truth of me saying, I'm not gonna help you? Because I'm not. And even if I could help, I would not help. And I love that person, right? But I will not help that person, because that person needs to do that for himself. And at some points it's scary, because you think, what if he just doubles down on the mistake? What if he just doubles down on the thing that he did wrong, thinking that he can solve it by doubling down? And it's fucking scary. But I think that, like, Jordan Peterson says this the best, and he always says everything, like, whatever your problem is, if you can listen to what Jordan Peterson says, the meta concept, like the underlying concept, and you're able to connect the dots to reality, he will solve all your problems. Like, Jordan Peterson figured it out. He figured everything out. And he also says that you shouldn't help somebody solve their problems, you should let them solve their problems themselves, because that's the real thing. It's about developing yourself. And he says it to himself, to go and solve somebody else's problem is selfish. you are selfish if you go and solve somebody else's problem, because that's not your problem to solve. That's an important piece of that person's life journey, and you cannot just take that away from them, right? And I believe that as a teacher, now I'm no longer a teacher in that regard, but I was a teacher. Like as a teacher, I realized that I never gave my students the answer. I always just asked them questions, and if the question was too difficult, I asked them smaller questions to guide them in the right direction to solve it out themselves. And like sometimes the students even have to push me to get the confirmation that their answer was right, because I don't want to give them the answer, is it right or wrong, immediately, because I don't want them to just guess around until they guess the right answer. I need them to figure it out for themselves, and then figure it out to the point where they can trust themselves in understanding that they actually figured it out, right? So right now, it's like I'm sitting here knowing that what I'm doing is probably the right thing, and right, there's nothing I can do, right? That's the thing. There is nothing I can do. But just having like the anxiety of the situation fucking sucks, and knowing that the shit that this person has put himself into spills over to other people. And that's the sad part. And knowing that that person has only good intentions. He did not mean anything bad. It's the opposite. It's the other way around. It's like he wants to do so well. He wants to help so much that he chooses the wrong decision. It's like, you want the money so much that you put it all on black, right? And you spin the wheel, like, and that's obviously the wrong decision, especially when it's not a 50-50, because usually, in the context of this situation, it's like worse. It's like, I don't think people understand the law, Murphy's Law. So Murphy's Law, it's a law that says everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Okay, but that is a little bit of a pessimistic, because you only have the pessimistic aspect of it. Basically what it means is that things doesn't only happen once. Things happens over and over and over again. And what that means is, if there's a possibility that something will go wrong, it will go wrong, because the thing will not only happen once. Okay, so let's say that you do an exercise in the gym, and it's a little bit of a risk that you're gonna get injured doing that exercise, but it's only little. Murphy's Law says that you're gonna get injured because you will not just do that exercise once, you will do that exercise multiple times. So Murphy's Law says that everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and basically the reason for that is because your behavior pattern continues to take the chance. So even if it's just 1% chance that things will go wrong, your behavior pattern will make sure that that 1% happens sooner or later. And that is Murphy's Law. And that's why I feel like, hey, like, don't look for the temporary solution, man. And that's the thing, like, the person only wants well, but he goes for the temporary solution, and then Murphy's Law just strikes back, right? And like, let's put it this way, the trouble this person got himself into is so bad, I have not communicated with that person, I communicate with people around that person. That's the situation we're in, right? I cannot communicate with that person because of the problem he put himself into. It's like, that's the situation. It's not because that person doesn't want to. Well, I bet my ass he doesn't want to. It's fucking awkward, right? When you fail, you don't want to confront people you care about. But even if we could, we could not communicate right now. There's no way to communicate with that person because the situation is so bad. And this happened before. Like, it happened, like, when I was becoming a teacher, like educating myself, we have the practical part when you're actually out in the field, right? And you get to try to be in a classroom and teach students, right? And the first lesson I ever held for a class, my phone rang in the middle of the thing, and I turned it off. I pressed red, right? I can't take it now, and then it continued to ring. So I actually had to walk out of the classroom. Well, turns out that person was in immediate, really bad fucking problems, right? And it all comes down to the same fucking thing. Now, I will not tell you who the person is, and you won't be able to figure it out unless you actually know that person very well yourself. And that means that you're pretty much inside the circle, you already know. Because there's no way for a random subscriber to know who this is. But at some point, this is the hard fucking truth. You need to choose yourself. And Jordan, now I'm not gonna, I don't want you guys to interpret this like word by word, but Jordan Peterson says, this is an extreme example, okay? This is an extreme example, but Jordan Peterson says that if you walk past somebody on the street who looks like a junkie, who's shaking and like all fucking weird, you don't want to get close to that person, because first off, you cannot help that person. There's no way you can figure, like that person got so many problems, you cannot help that person. And the big thing is that if you try to help that person, there's a really, really big chance that that person will drag you down with them, right? There's a really big chance that that person will drag you down with them. And that's, the lesson is so painful because, like, the person I'm speaking about now obviously isn't a junkie on the fucking street, okay? Now, but the principle, like the concept, it's on a scale, right? And if that person is doing the wrong things and you try to help him, maybe I'm just scared that I'm gonna get sucked into shit that I don't want to be sucked into. And shit, it's just fucking painful. It doesn't matter if you sit with the right answers in your hand. Yeah, I have the right, I know, I told you guys, there's nothing I can do, right? There's nothing I can do, but still it fucking hurts. Because I care about this person a lot. It's like, you know what, you know the right, like everybody can tell you, you shouldn't care about the haters, right? Like you shouldn't care about the haters. Well, when you read a comment from somebody who has watched hundreds of hours of your content and they know exactly which fucking nerve to strike you in order to put you in pain. It's not like this stupid shit, you should die, you fucking retard. No, it's not that. That's fucking stupid. I don't give a shit if somebody writes that I should die. I mean, I get death threats, I don't give a shit. I mean, that doesn't matter. But when somebody has watched hundreds of hours of your content, they know you since like 8 years back, and they don't know your personality. And that person is a really smart person, which means that they actually figured out your personality, and they know exactly where to strike you, which nerve to hit you in order to put you in pain. And that person will not write it as a hate comment. That person will write it as a constructive criticism comment, right? They will camouflage the hate as constructive criticism in order to put you in more pain and make it seem as if they're trying to help you. That shit is painful, and you know you shouldn't be in pain. You know, like, oh, that's only hate, you shouldn't care. Well, it fucking matters. It fucking hurts, man. It fucking hurts. Oh, fuck. Like, the plan for today is to have a rest day, but I just might emotionally need to go to the gym for my emotional sake. I will see if I'm gonna go to the therapy house or not. If I go there, you get to come along, and I'll probably do something that doesn't tax me too hard because I'm actually pretty beat up, so I would need a rest day. That's why I'm taking a rest day, but I'll see. I want to go to the gym, like, for the emotional aspect. We'll see.